And I'm here to tell you right now, at the top of this mountain, by myself in a 6,000 square foot home, I was probably the most empty I'd ever been on top of being homeless. And I was doing that because I hadn't learned the truth about who I am. In your generation specifically, how many times have you seen your friends go do something they know they shouldn't do because everybody else is doing it?
Every single day.
That is self-abandoning. The heck with everybody else. How do I focus on me? You have no idea what you're chasing. You're just chasing for the sake of chasing because culture is telling you, I gotta hustle, I gotta do, I gotta become. And if I don't hustle, if I don't ding, if I don't get the card, I don't get the thing, I don't get the girl, then I'm not worth it.
Like society is like the opposite. It's like go, 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 go. So then when we don't slow down, when we're not still, like that's why like chaos just continues to emerge.
And I don't want them to spend 20 years struggling to find out who they are, because who they are is already embedded in their DNA. How can I be more grounded? How can I be more regulated? How can I show up better for myself? How can I not self-abandon? How can I not be overly aggressive? How can I not let my ego influence my decisions?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Peace in the Storm podcast. I'm your host, Andelina Storm. And today, this may be the most excited I have ever been for an episode. Today, I get to introduce you guys to a mentor of mine, someone I consider a dear friend, and someone that you would not see any of this without. Not the book, not the podcast, nothing. None of this would be a thing without him. But I'm going to have to read this bio to you guys because I really want to get it right. And he's done a lot of really impressive things. So trust me, this bio is not all of it. I had to really condense it, but you'll get to know him a bit more today. So today we have Stephen Scoggins with us. He's a life and business strategist who's helped scale companies from 0 to 8 and 9 figures. And he's the founder of Unstoppable Solutions. He talks a lot about integrated leadership, building success without losing your soul. And I'm really excited to unpack that with you guys today. So give a warm welcome to Stephen Scoggins.
Hey, I'm so proud of you. This was awesome. I got to, it was really cool. I got to come in and watch you film the single episode. You are a gem on camera. And I think the one thing I want the world to know about you that they won't know any other way unless I probably say this, because a lot of people are on camera and they're doing content and stuff like that. You're as genuine and as heart-centered and as soul-centered as anyone I've ever met. You are legitimately a beacon of hope and light to people. And I really, really want them to really understand that, because there's a lot of voices out there, a lot of voices. And my encouragement to them is you're worthy of listening to.
Thank you so much. That means the world. And genuinely, guys, I have not met a more genuine person than Stephen. So you have to get to know him.
Well.
Yes. So you guys have to get to know him, which means I really want to dive into this. So something Stephen talks about that gets me super excited is 1 part lion, 1 part lamb. And I honestly just want to hand the mic completely over to him, let him describe it to you guys, because I don't want to butcher it. And it's a really, really cool concept. So
yeah, well, let me first say I discovered the truth of the concept organically and through a lot of suffering and pain. In fact, most of the things in life that are really worth having typically come through an element of suffering and pain.
Amen.
Even everything that you're doing, right, it came through a moment or a time of suffering and pain. And one of the things I realize that people do is, and I'm trying to encourage them not to do, is they resist the seasons of suffering and pain rather than walking into the forge willingly. So you can either run away from faith, you can run away from the problem, you can stick your head in the sand, you can do all these different things. But it's not until you confront it that it teaches you what you're supposed to know to take it with you, right? So I say that to say that in about 2014, 2015, my grandfather, who had called me, his name's Silver Fox, he's literally tattooed on my arm. I'd show you, but I'm wearing long sleeves today. It's cold outside in North Carolina today.
It's a little chilly.
No, I went and go see him, and at the time I'd built a company. A lot of folks on social media and stuff know my story. Started a company when I was homeless. I exited the company in, technically January 1st of 2024. And over the course of that time frame, we were able to scale to multiple states, hundreds of team members, because even the contractors that work with us exclusively, I consider team members. And I went to my grandfather and I started getting comments from people at the Dave Ramsey organization about potentially becoming a speaker, right? It didn't turn out to be anything, but other than it had opened my eyes to potentially wanting to write books and wanting to speak and wanting to coach and mentor It's what planted the seed for strategy. It's what helped me understand that you can use past moments of pain for future moments of progress.
Yeah, that's good.
And as I'm kind of walking this journey, I remember having this conversation with my grandfather. He passed away in 2016, a couple of years later. And he's like, well, son, I wish you could hear. He had the voice of God. Like he had the most, I'll share it when we're off camera. Cause I actually have him on my phone. Yeah. But I remember him saying, cause he used to call me son. He's like, son, I really believe you can do this. And I believe you can do it at scale. And I think you can serve at scale. Now, he did it in his best North Carolina country boy accent. So sometimes in North Carolina, y'all, we talk a little country, all right? Not everybody talks country, but most of us do, okay? And when he did that, one of the things that happened was he opened, I mean, there's moments in time where you can tell someone's opening their wisdom and their soul and their heart to you. And like right before he says these lines, there's just like a hush drives over the room. And he says, I really believe you could do something in this, but if you're going to do this and be successful at it, you're going to have to become one part lion and one part lamb. And I'm like you, I'm like, well, that sounds really freaking cool. That's a really amazing tagline, but what does that even mean? And so the first time I even had an explanation of it, it came from him. And the contrast he gave me was, for those of your followers who are followers, subscribers, everything that know and love Jesus and stuff, there's a story in the Gospels about Jesus, who's currently technically teaching a small group of people, including his disciples. And out of nowhere, the Pharisees and Sadducees come and throw down a woman in front of him, supposedly caught in the act of adultery. And I say supposedly because one of the things I've recently said, well, how did they know?
Right.
That means they went out of, that means they convoluted together, went out of their way to go find this woman, to then put them in front of Jesus, to then try to trick Jesus. Okay. And so much of becoming one part lion and one part lamb is situational awareness and full regulated grounding. Okay. So when you're regulated and you're grounded, you're not anxious.
Right.
You're able to embody, and you're almost like you're able to embody stillness real time. Okay. So they put this woman in front of Jesus, and Jesus is obviously, he looks up, some say he's doodling in the ground, right? So we just know he's writing in the sand. We have no idea what he wrote. Some people think that he was writing the sins of the people that had stones in their hands. Some people think he was just doodling to just make a point. Like whatever he was doing, it was effective. Right. And in true Jesus form, because he's regulated, because he's grounded, he's able to tap into the divine wisdom real time. Real-time situational awareness, real-time grounding, real-time frequency exchange, if you will. And as a result, he looks up at the accusers and he says, he who is without sin, cast the first stone. Okay? In that one moment, he is actually being a bold, courageous lion without being controlling or domineering. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So simultaneously, he stops that conversation, rocks start to fall, these people start to walk away. Depending on the translation, Jesus comes down to this woman's level. I kind of imagine her kind of like almost like lifting her head, because Jesus was already considered a very beautiful, holy man, even to people who didn't believe he was the Messiah. Right. Like respected him. Right. Because of how he carried himself. Right. How you carry your capacity, by definition, is how you carry your character. And how you carry your character determines whether or not you're a repellent or a magnet. Okay? So he's on the ground with a woman. He lifts her face up. And he either, again, some translations say he calls her woman. I like the other one that says he calls her daughter. Yeah,
I like that one too.
Right? He's like, daughter, where are your accusers? And he proceeds to use love and compassion and empathy. So what you see there in that split second, as you see him go from a really bold Lion of Judah immediately to the qualities of the Lamb. You see, lions and lambs both roar, they just do it in different frequencies. So everybody's heard the roar of the lion, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Well, thank you. Right? And then, and the lambs, it's more the bag kind of, right? But they're different frequencies. Right. Yeah. And those different frequencies become part of your, if you can learn to embody what it means to become one part lion and one part lamb, and all it takes is practice. It takes choosing each day how you show up, how you stand in the gap for yourself, what you say to yourself when you're looking at the mirror to yourself, and stuff like that. It becomes achievable. I'm gonna take it one step further. The other piece of becoming one part lion and one part lamb is understanding that every frequency has a maturity or an immaturity. Okay.
That's good.
If we're operating out of fear or wound, by definition, no matter whether or not you're lion or lamb, again, I'm using them as contrasts, as archetypes. Whether you're using one or the other will determine whether or not you're in maturity or immaturity. So if you're operating from fear, lack, and scarcity, which is where I think the enemy likes to attack people the most, he likes to basically sow seeds of doubt in order to get seeds of destruction. Okay. However, if you operate from love, compassion, and groundedness, you're embodying maturity in both categories. So if you take a lion, for example, and you look at immaturity, a lion who's immature is going to be controlling, domineering, and essentially overly assertive. They're going to be very egotistical, very, very about self. And it's like, the heck with everybody else. How do I focus on me? Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
King Saul did that. Okay. So I use Saul and David a lot of times to contrast what it means. So if you're going to be a great leader to build something amazing, know who you are, then essentially we're moving from a Saul archetype to a David archetype. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
David was known as being the man after God's own heart, right? Even with all his own flaws. So, but I'll give you an example. Saul goes to get corrected by God for being disobedient, but yet David was equally disobedient with Bathsheba, but yet he repented immediately.
That's good, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So Saul resisted. Saul, in fact, demanded that Samuel would like re-bless him in front of people to like basically showcase, no, I'm still the king. So Saul chased kingship. David chased stewardship. That one contrast, if you can understand that one thing, ultimately what happens is now you've set yourself on a course. So if the immaturity is controlling, domineering, and all this kind of stuff, the mature side is protective, bold, stands firm, stands tall, has healthy grounding, knows I am who I am because the I am said I am who I am.
Yes.
Like there's a truth to it. There's an embodiment to it, right? The flip side of the lamb, okay, is in immaturity, the lamb is self-abandoning, okay, which means you know it's wrong for you, but you say yes anyway. And we do it in relationships. We do it with parenting. We do it with our family. We do it for kids. Like we will abandon ourselves. Like in your generation specifically, how many times have you seen your friends go do something they know they shouldn't do because everybody else is doing it?
Every single day.
Exactly.
Every day.
So that is self-abandoning, right?
Yep.
They want to be liked and approved so much that they chase the wrong thing. And because they pursue the wrong thing, ultimately it takes them on a journey where they have to realize it for themselves to come out of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we know that the immature lamb is self-abandoning and largely overfunctioning, meaning you're chasing approval. That's what overfunctioning means. It means you'll do anything to get everybody else's approval. By definition, you're walking away from your actual identity, right?
Yeah.
In maturity, the lamb is loving, compassionate, and truthful and connected. So some people can look at the lion and lamb as being masculine and feminine energies. Our good friends Henry and Taryn Amar, you've heard them speak many times, and like there's truth to all of it. So in order to become an integrated leader and ultimately build a life you love, and I don't care if you're currently 20 years old or you're 50 years old, this truth right here will anchor you for the rest of your life. You can't scale dysfunction. Okay? You can't become more as a result or a byproduct of chaos. You can't use chaos to create. Chaos is the opposite energy of creativity. So when you self-abandon, you're allowing chaos in. When you're not standing up for yourself and understanding who you are and not going on search for that, you're letting chaos in. So if you want to have a beautiful relationship and the other person's not functioning well, you have to ask yourself, what mirror am I being to allow this chaos functionality to be happening again with? All of which I just did myself not even 2 years ago. So that's probably the smallest snapshot of what it means to become one part lion and one part lamb.
No, that was incredible. Thank you so much. And I love all like the historical facts and the biblical affirmations that like tie into that and really give us the full picture. I thought that was extremely powerful. And with that, I know a big thing for you is identity and really wanting to like reach and like tell the younger generation like where to find identity and how to find identity. And I feel like a better way for us to fully understand one part lion, one part lamb is I feel like we first have to kind of understand ourselves in a way. Like if I don't know who I am, how am I supposed to really figure out how to become the one part lion, one part lamb I need to be? So what would you tell the younger generation, like how to find identity and where you see us struggling with finding identity?
Yeah, so that's a fantastic question, by the way. Very well articulated. I think the first thing we have to understand is identity is not created by what other people say about you.
Yeah.
Identity is created by what you say about you. All right, and I'm saying that from a place of experience. I spent 45 years of my 50-year life chasing the validation and the approval and the worth based on human mind or concepts, people. Like I wanted that. I remember the first girl that broke my heart. I was 16. No, I was 17. She was 2 years younger. And like, I just got lost in the relationship. I'm like, she's the one, right? and lo and behold, she became a stepping stone to a man I've become. But in that moment in time, because I wanted that love so much, I was willing to do anything for that so much. So I started making myself become something I wasn't, to try to force fit myself into a mold that I wasn't called to be in.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I say that's important is because, especially in your generation, more than any other generation that I've seen, there is a direct, forceful attack from outside influences to get you to question who you are and to chase external forces to quote unquote find who you are. So I can save your audience 20 years of struggle right now. Okay.
Yes.
I want to invite them to do what I can refer to as what's called a presence practice. Now, the presence practice I'm going to describe, I've only been doing now for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay. To tell you how long this took me to figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay. All the way up until this moment, all but those prior 2 years, my life was a anchor of striving. Yes, I went and built businesses. Yes, I worked my butt off. Yes, I hustled and I grinded and all the things and this is something I specifically want the young men to hear. You cannot hustle your way to success. You cannot do it. And all the gurus out there, they're like, get up at 3 a.m. and just grind out 1,000 push-ups and just go, go, go. If your go, go, go has no focus, all you're doing is using a bazooka to aim at something you should use a sniper rifle for. So you have no idea what you're chasing. So you're just chasing for the sake of chasing because culture is telling you, I got to hustle, I got to do, I got to become. And if I don't hustle, if I don't ding, if I don't get the car, I don't get the thing, I don't get the girl, then I'm not worth it. All of that is a fabricated lie. And I don't want them to spend 20 years struggling to find out who they are. Because who they are is already embedded in their DNA.
That's good.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You're already who you are. The difference is you're going to take who you are and you're going to mature it over time by choices. How can I be more grounded? How can I be more regulated? How can I show up better for myself? How can I not self-abandon? How can I not be overly aggressive? How can I not let my ego influence my decisions? Okay?
Yeah.
So each morning, on average, I get up at somewhere between 5:30 and 5:55 a.m. every morning. Okay? This morning, I was at Safe Haven. I got up. Before I even got out of the bed. I do this 4 times. I'm changing it a little bit now, but I'll give you what I've been doing. And I call it a mantra, okay? To all the guys out there, it's going to sound woo-woo. Just go with me. If you want to become both a warrior and a worshiper simultaneously, be the warrior in the garden, not a gardener in a war, this is how you get there.
Yeah, that's
okay?
good.
You can pick up a sword, but you can also pick up a flower.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And women, ironically, will gravitate towards you when you embody these principles, which is kind of funny. But some side note, 5:55, between 5:30 and 5:55 a.m., I wake up. First thing I do before I even get out of bed, I take a deep breath in. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I'm a steward of the Most High. I love you, Stephen. I do that 4 times every morning. And let me break down why. First of all, I want to start the day understanding who I am.
Yeah.
Not what others tell me who I am, but who I actually am. And who I am is who I choose to be every day. So people say, well, how can you say you're wealthy before you were wealthy? I'm like, that's why I'm wealthy.
Right.
Ish.
Yeah.
Right? It's because I've been telling myself, girding my loins, or girding myself, as they call it in the Bible. But like I'm reinforcing the man that I want to become, not what I think I am. Because what you think you are right now was probably a lie that's preventing you to be ultimately becoming who you were called to be. So you have to understand, you have to learn to be a person of being before you can become a person of doing.
Yeah, that's really good.
Right? Being is stronger than doing. Right? Embodied leadership executes with excellence. Non-embodied leadership executes with chaos. It's just a matter of becoming the best version of yourself. So I start with that mantra. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. The third one, or the fourth one, I'm steward of the Most High. That reminds me why I'm here.
Yeah, that's good.
Whatever God gives me, financial resource, relationships, health, like whatever he gives me, I got to be a steward with it. Like I've got to be real with it. Okay. Yeah. And then I love you, Stephen. I'll tell you that the I love you, Stephen component, it was about 3 years ago. I was staring at myself in a mirror, and keep in mind, I'd already been quote unquote successful. Like, in fact, I had this epiphany when I had sold a company. I had everything in theory that you think you want. Had access to funds. I had access to travel. Had access to a nice home that was largely paid for. Had access to toys. Had access to really significant relationships. I was proud to call Ed Milet a good friend. Like I had the things that people are spending their entire life chasing right now.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you right now, at the top of this mountain, by myself in a 6,000 square foot home, overlooking 20 miles of mountains. Like my house was nice and it was long range views. I was probably the most empty I'd ever been on top of being homeless. And I was doing that because I hadn't learned the truth about who I am. You see, there's a reason why the integrated alignment method works. It's because it's I am. Integrated alignment method. We're teaching people how to become I am. I am, and they get to fill in the blank. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I'm a steward of the Most High. And then a constant reminder and a reinforcement about identity comes from within. It does not come from without. So I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I love you, Stephen. The first several times, first of all, I thought it was weird. Second of all, I mean, I'm being honest, right? Because it's your nervous system's not used to it. The second, third, or fourth time, I really started locking eyes with myself. I'm like, bro, I love you.
Yeah.
Like you're good to people. You try really hard. You put forth a good effort. You're not out there hurting people. You're not selfish. Like God would be proud. Like I want to, if I get to, I told my kids with my tombstone, I wanted to say, here lies a loving husband, father, if and when I get married again, but here lies a loving husband, father who set out to change the world and did.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be my ultimate epitaph.
Right.
In order to even remotely get there, I can't be authentic on stage unless I'm authentic inside.
Yeah, that's good.
If you're inauthentic, you will not get the magnetism that you require to be successful. And success, by definition, is not external. Success is internal. Ironically, if you can master the inside, the external success comes with it. It's wild. So it's like the kingdom. So culture says you have to earn to have value. The kingdom says you have value, therefore you get to earn.
Yeah,
it's everything is upside down.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the second thing I do is what I call a journaling session that I've shared publicly now that people have been doing. I've been getting like really wild testimonies because
that's so fun.
It's really cool. But at the top of the journal, okay, so obviously we people of faith, we like to pray and all the things, meditate and all the things, right? This practice is different in that this practice teaches your heart to have a healthy heart posture. Okay? And the reason is because you pull out the journal, and I want everybody to try this for 30 days. Just 30 days. Try this for just 30 days, guys. Seriously. If you're watching this right now and your life is upside down, you don't know who you are, you don't know why you do the things you do, try this one thing right here. Right at the top of the page, what I hear you say is ... That date, and then shut up and listen.
That's good.
The very first time that I did this, I was wrecked. I just organically poured my heart out to God on the computer. I got to the bottom of the screen and I changed the font color to blue. And I said, Lord, again, of course, I'm a believer. He's already taught me 1,000 times that he's there and present.
Right.
Even when I don't think he's there, and he's present in the storm. Yeah, right. But in this moment in time, what was really interesting was this quietness came over, and I changed the font color to blue, and I literally couldn't type fast enough. I could not see what I was typing. I was blinded by tears. Right? And out came the most beautiful tapestry that's clearly not my voice. I don't talk like this. Like, I don't communicate like this. Right? It's a divine flow is what it is. And it was the Father's heart talking directly to me. And there's this line in the about middle way down. He says two things that I think that are coming up for me now to share with your audience. The first one he shares is he says, despise not small beginnings or painful transitions. Despise not small beginnings or painful transitions. The second thing he says that's like it, he says, I'm always talking, but they're seldom listening.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? So because we're seldom listening, it's easier for us to sit down even those who love Jesus and like really like get down on your knees and you're praying and you're asking, and like, God, please, why did this happen? And why can't there's a time and a place for that heart posture. But first thing in the morning, I advise you because the kingdom is inverted from culture, let's invert how we operate from culture.
Yeah. That's
right?
good.
So we invert it and we say, what do you have to say?
Yeah.
The tricky part is sitting there until you hear something.
Yeah.
It's teaching you to be still.
That's good.
That stillness of your heart will actually take care of all the anxiety outside of your heart. Your anxiety will disappear because your stillness is rooted and grounded. So the more the stillness appears, the more anxiety disappears.
I love that. I don't know about you guys, but I am very appreciative of the whole identity talk we just got. And there's a lot of things that you said that I'm going to be implementing. Like, I'm going to do the 30 days things. Like, I don't know what God's saying. And I start my mornings off slower, but I've kind of grown stagnant in that. So I'm going to start trying this instead. And another thing that you said that really resonated with me was I love you, Stephen thing. I on the whiteboard in my room, I have biblical affirmations up, and it's all the lies I tell myself and then a Bible verse that contradicts them, because we are our own harshest critic. And it's the devil in our head just telling us we're not enough, and we find all these things wrong with us, but it's God would never say any of those things about us.
Yeah, when you stop chasing approval, you'll start finding identity.
That's really good. That was a bar. That's a little fortune cookie, right?
You dropped
So with identity, so we broke down one part lion, one part lamb. That's what we want to be and where to find identity. So I'm someone that I think vulnerability is a big strength, and I know you do as well. And you are very good.
For a learning lesson.
Right. And I think you do a really good job being vulnerable and being rooted in good thing. You're just a genuine person. So obviously great things should come your way, and I think you deserve it all.
Thank you.
But how would you, specifically the younger men watching this, but girls as well, how would you encourage them to be vulnerable in a generation that tells us to be anything but vulnerable?
Yeah, the generation is telling you that you have to look like something else to have any level of value. And because of that, we walk around with protective skins up. So if I really think about how to do something tactically to begin to shift that, I think you're going to have to really evaluate the circle in which you're keeping. And the reason is because no one can be vulnerable if they feel like they have to fight or flee. Okay, so the safety by definition is vital to someone's organic creation. So if you don't feel safe, it's going to be really hard to feel vulnerable. There's also the time and a place where, ironically, the environment's pretty safe, and the biggest fear is you being vulnerable. It's taking that step. So you can work your way into it slowly. right? And I invite people to test relationships carefully. So I used to teach this principle called the hedge of protection. So in the center of this, and just imagine a philosophical bullseye. In the center of the bullseye is your close nucleus. Okay. Outside of the close nucleus is your closer friends. Outside of that is your acquaintances. Outside of that is the people you just bump into. And outside of that is the ring of people who are harmful or toxic. And outside of that are people who are dangerous. Okay. So it's a concentric bullseye. What we mistakenly do is a lot of times we confuse toxic people for inner circle people. And as a result, we never feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Okay. So here's another exercise for fun. It's fun. List the top 7 people that you spend the most time with. Okay.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, by each of their names, go on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 meaning they're dangerous. Okay. 10 meaning they feed my life, they grow my life. They're just rock star people. I love hanging out with these people. Right. When I say I love hanging out with them, I mean love hanging out with them not for what they give you, but because you appreciate who they are. Okay. Go through that list, scale of 1 to 10. Anyone that's below 7, I want you to spend less time with them. Anybody who's above 7, I want you to spend a lot of time with them. Because that's the only way you're going to feel secure enough and safe enough to actually be vulnerable, right? And vulnerability a lot of times is not oversharing. So vulnerability is not just pouring your guts. Oh, it could be, depending on what you're going through. But vulnerability a lot of times is saying the things you're scared to say. And it could be the for your age, it could be the relationship you honestly know that needs to end.
Yeah.
But you don't want to break that person's heart, but you're harming both of yourselves by not ending it, right? Or it could be the season of singleness that I even tell this to my daughter, like if you have an ending of a significant relationship, you should have a minimum of 6 months with no dating. Find out who you are, find out what you learned, right? Those skill sets of internal work end up giving you the security to speak up. Like I'll just share from truth, right? So vulnerability comes from truth.
Right.
And if you use the 1 part lion, 1 part lamb framework, all you have to do is you have to do it with boldness and compassion simultaneously. So you can communicate anything. I could say, you're a pain in my butt, right? Or I can get grounded and say, I realize we're going through a struggle right now. And I'd like to understand how you see this. And I'd like to share how I see it and see if there's common ground. One builds unity, one causes destruction.
Right. Yeah.
So impulse control will keep you from being vulnerable because you're not, by definition, allowing yourself to feel safe in the moment. And again, I think your nucleus is probably the best place to start, right?
Yeah.
Because these people you can talk to, you can share your fears with, right? But just when you're doing it, do it from a place of a sincere desire to understand, because a lot of times we'll go and vomit our life on people and they already got their own stuff going on. And then I've dealt with people like this. I've been this person before. I'll vomit on other people. This is my life. 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 I don't even ask them how they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because they've always been my go-to, but they might be going through a tough time. Right. So got to be very, very careful with that. But I think starting with a significant circle of close people that you can feel safe to show up for, and then just use it as a place of understanding, perspective and understanding. How do you see this differently than I see it?
Yeah.
I would, especially in the early days, I would go to people that are people of wisdom. Like they're not going to tell you something that's going to harm you, right? Because a lot of people will give you advice from their pain or their trauma.
Yes.
So people get I've been divorced, right? It would be easier for me to give someone marital advice from a divorce mindset.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. If I give marital advice from a divorce mindset, the chances of it really being of service is not that great. However, I can give insight on what divorce actually cost me, not just financially and all the things, but what it cost me, my heart, my soul, my pain, my headaches, kids. In fact, I don't know why I'm even going here, but with divorce stuff in general, relationships in general that end or need to end or could end, especially when you have children involved. I want people to understand that the devil is not after the marriage. He's after the children's destiny that's hidden in the marriage.
Ooh.
That's what he's after. Because he knows if he can cause the man or the woman or the relationship to doubt their self-worth, doubt their identity, doubt, that same doubt will get sown into the kids, and that creates generational baggage. generational trauma. So,
yeah. No, that was really, really good. Thank you. And thank you for being vulnerable, like within your answer, because that was like exactly what I was looking for. It was like really nice
this
to
is
like,
real talk. We talk like this. So it's good.
yes. I like love the vulnerability aspect and how like good you are at just being vulnerable, because it like really does help. And I've learned that as well. Like Jesus wept. So like Jesus was vulnerable. Like Jesus would get upset when like things would happen. So like knowing that it's okay to be sad sometimes.
Yeah, well, check this out. Check this out, because this goes on that point. All right, so King David. Okay, King David was the most successful king in history. Okay, arguably. His sons, his names, they all begin with S's. Samuel, Saul's, right? I'll come back to it later. His son, right?
His son
became one of the wealthiest kings that ever reigned, right? There's still historical evidence around that. Anyway, David was known for slaying his 10,000 men. He was also known for ripping his clothes off and just crashing down the floor and surrendering. I want men to understand that tears cleanse the soul.
Yeah,
without feeling vulnerable enough to even cry alone, you can't get to vulnerability, right? I really want young men to understand it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to not understand. It's okay. You're not broken because you have emotions of pain. You're actually human, right?
Yeah.
And that humanity, if you lean into it, will lead you to vulnerability and also lead you to truth, because everything you go through is going to teach you something more about life.
That's really good. So a question I would say I ask all my guests, but you're like the second one I've had. But I guess I've asked you both, right?
Yeah.
Yes, good company, you and my dad. But so storms are obviously my thing, and the title is Peace in the Storm. So I would ask, what is a storm in your life? But
there's been a lot.
Yeah. So
I've made some typhoons, some hurricanes.
where do you like find your peace in the storms? Because storms don't just stop once you're grounded. Like they still come. So where do you like find yourself going back to or falling back on to find peace in your storms?
It's going to always start with a presence practice. Your storms will always feel unsurmountable if you haven't taken time to put a strong foundation in. That presence practice is the actual anchor. So the presence practice drops an anchor in heaven, in the soul, in the earth, or whatever. And it's like having an anchor in a boat. So the boat, the storms are coming, the waves are going like this, but as long as that thing is anchored to the thing, it's going to move with the waves, right? The fear is, or the concept is to move with the struggle and not to go get subsided in the struggle. Because if that same thing wasn't anchored, right, then when the waves come in, they're like this, like it's going to overtake the boat, right? Boat's probably the wrong termination to use, but because I'm not a sailor, but you get the point, right?
Right. Yes.
The storm will overcome you if you're not anchored, and the only way I've discovered to get anchored is by having a daily presence practice that pre-anchors you before the storm comes. And if you're in a storm right now, start the presence practice anyway, and the storm will act. It's like Jesus being in the boat with his disciples, and he goes, "Be still." Notice the words he chose.
Be still.
Be still. Be still. He told the storm to be still. That storm is there. So his answer to freaking out is be still. Be still.
It was just crazy because like society is like the opposite. It's like go, 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 go. So then when we don't slow down, when we're not still, like that's why like chaos just continues to emerge.
Well, yeah, because it also feels abnormal. So if you've been chasing, like every American on the planet, if you've been chasing hustle culture, 1, you're exhausted, 2, you're burned out, 3, you're overwhelmed, and you probably don't feel like you have sure footing. Okay?
Yeah.
What I invite you to do is to know that is the world's culture. That is not kingdom culture. Kingdom culture starts with stillness, period.
Amen.
End of story. So if you want to get your life together, if you want the relationships to start, go through the season, lean into the forge willingly, and be still throughout the process.
No, that's really good. So before we wrap up today, is there any like last words of wisdom, any little Stephen nuggets you'd like to leave the audience with?
Don't let social media decide your identity.
Good. It's a big one.
Yeah, don't let social media decide your identity. Anchor yourself in the identity that you discover by being still. God will tell you exactly who you are. He will tell you exactly who you are. And then as I was watching, in fact, I know we're getting a little bit on time, but I'll just one final little story. I'm sure you're familiar with the TV show called The Chosen.
I love The Chosen.
Okay, so
Great show.
I forgot which season it sounds like season 4, I think it is. In that storm situation I just mentioned to you, Jesus comes walking on the water. Peter gets out of the boat. Peter has gone through what I think they did a tremendous job of helping people understand that even the disciples suffer.
Yes.
Right?
Which is super important.
Yeah. So, because you can be a disciple and still suffer.
Yes.
But Peter gets out of the boat. He goes up to Jesus, and he's kind of in this particular version, he's kind of pissed off.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
he's like, I'll get out of the boat as you command me to, because I know you control. Like, he knows he control it. Like, his faith is like way up here, but he's upset with Jesus about some circumstance. If you haven't seen The Chosen, go watch The Chosen.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right. And Chosen, you don't have to pay me. That was just real. Right. But in this episode, one of the things that I love that they did so well is Peter gets to a point, he just starts praying to Jesus, don't let me go, don't let me go, don't let me. And this is not even when he's in the water. This is when he's back in the boat. Please don't let me go. Please don't let me go. Please don't let me go. And Jesus says, eyes right here. Look at me. 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 Don't worry about the storm. Eyes right here. Eyes right here. So whatever the storm is, eyes right here. Eyes right here. That will change the game.
Yes.
Your answer is divinely tethered to your internal alignment with heaven on earth. Yes. Eyes right here.
Wow, that was so good and such a really strong way to end it, and something I definitely could be better at. Like, it's so easy to just, when like bad things happen, when storms happen, just to be like, like a storm, like everything's awful. But then it's like, when you do fixate your eyes on Jesus, everything is so much better, and the burden is so much lighter because he's there carrying it with you. Yes. So if you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did, I'm going to give Stephen an opportunity here to tell us how to keep up with him, to follow him, to get more of his amazing lessons, amazing teachings. Again, again, Stephen is a great mentor of mine, and I promise you guys there's so many things he did not say on this that you all need to hear. So letting Stephen take the mic over again.
Well, if any of the conversation or the content resonated with you, you can always find me at stephenscoggins.com. I'm most active on Instagram, and my team is very active on TikTok. And I know that's a strong platform for you guys. So I'm learning. So y'all be patient with me. But it's either STEPHEN_Scoggins, SCOGGINS, or straight Stephen Scoggins on TikTok. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope something of value was there. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share.
Yes, of course. It'll also be below in the show notes. But I know you guys resonated with this episode, and I know you know someone that would benefit from knowing this. So I challenge you to send it to 1 or 2 people that you know would be greatly impacted by this episode and the amazing messages and teachings that Stephen shared with us. Thank you so much for being a part of season 2 with me. If this message resonated with you, or there's someone heavy on your heart that you know needs to hear it, send this message to them. Like, comment, subscribe, and help me by leaving a 5-star rating and sending this to as many people as possible so I can continue this movement. Thank you so much, and hope to see you in season 3.